All right, guys, let's figure it out. Let's figure out week 16. Who are we rooting for? What do we need to happen? What works in our favor? So, obviously, most of the games this week are going to be on Saturday. We did have one game already take place last night. I couldn't really figure out how that one mattered for us, though. Um, yeah, the Jaguars, Jets, both teams played the Broncos this year. Both teams are in the AFC. Neither team was a realistic threat for the number one pick, or excuse me, moving their number one pick ahead of where Denver's was. So I don't think that game mattered. The only angle from which it may have mattered would be if you think the Seahawks are going to lose out, and then you want their pick to land above a team like Jacksonville's or New York's. But I think that's going to kind of take care of itself because if you lose out, that means you've also lost to the Jets, and Jacksonville actually looks like they're going to win that division at this point. So I'm not really worried about that. Okay, so that one didn't matter. That one just whatever. So let's move forward to Saturday. Obviously, you've got this Seahawks Chiefs game that speaks for itself. Moving past that, let's try to find the important ones. So you've got the Bills and the Bears. We need the Bears to find a way to win a game, and this is probably not the game they're going to do it in. But honestly, if we're being honest, the Bears have been playing competitive football lately. It is in Soldier Field. It's going to be super cold. With wind chill, you're probably looking at sub zero temperatures. And the Bills have shown a propensity to play down to their opponents from time to time, so can't completely rule it out. But as you can see, the Bears currently sit alone at the number two overall pick, but their strength of schedule is so good that if they find a way to win one game, that number two overall pick goes right back on the menu. So, as an owner of Denver's draft pick in this draft, it is very much in our interest for Chicago to find a way to win a game. And I'm not saying this is going to be the game they win, but it's a game they're going to play. Okay, 10 a.m. CBS, we have the Saints and the Browns. Now, Saints with 9 losses, not realistically part of the playoff picture, so I'm not really worried about that. But here's the question: are the Saints in play for picking above where Denver ends up picking? If Denver wins one more game, they're going to have 5 wins, same as New Orleans. And you can see that Denver's strength of schedule is only about 0.13 points above or below where New Orleans is. So maybe, maybe, maybe we want the Saints to win one more game just to kind of provide a little bit of a firewall, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Um, at the end of the day, I think the Saints' strength of schedule is going to hold out over Denver's, so I'm not super worried about that. But I guess if we need to root for somebody, you would probably say root for the Saints, just get that one more win and guarantee that their pick is below wherever Denver picks. At 10 a.m., also, we have the Texans and the Titans. At this point, it really doesn't matter what the Texans do. The Texans would have to win out, and then Denver would have to lose out for us to actually get the number one pick, and Chicago would have to win a game. And it's just a little too much. There's too much stuff to worry about right now to really think about it. But at the same time, there's no reason to not hope that the Texans win a game, I guess, right? Like, the Titans and Texans both played the Broncos this year, so there's no strength of schedule argument. They're two AFC teams, so I guess I can't find any reason to root for the Titans here. So, yeah, Texans it is. Giants at Vikings. Definitely big Vikings fans here. If the end of the season goes well for the Commanders or the Lions, the Giants losing out would be like a safety valve. I don't think it's likely to happen because the Giants still play the Colts, but we may as well keep hope alive. So, excuse me, my bad. Yeah, we are big Vikings fans in this one just to give that extra option to back into the playoffs. Bengals, Patriots. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm not worried about the Chiefs like taking it easy on the Broncos in Week 17 because they've already got things locked up. So I'm not worried about it from that angle. But root for whoever you want to root for here. I don't see any way in which this matters. Maybe the only thing I can think of, and this is kind of a deep reach, if the Patriots win out, it keeps pressure on the Chargers to play in Week 18 against the Broncos. But that's it. That's all I can do. So maybe we root for the Patriots, but I don't think it makes a big difference. Lions, Panthers, huge Panthers fans for very obvious reasons. Assuming we lose to Kansas City, which I think is likely, Detroit leapfrogs us into the 8th spot unless they lose as well. And if we lose and they win, they don't control their own destiny, but they practically do because it's very likely the Commanders are going to drop some games here. So, yeah, we are big Panthers fans here. Need the Lions to find one more loss this season, and I think this is actually one of their better opportunities to find a loss on the road against a team that can at least run the ball really well. We also got Falcons, Ravens. The Ravens played the Broncos this year, so the Ravens losing hurts the Broncos' strength of schedule, which is good for us. And Atlanta actually has their pick currently nestled in at number 7. And if the Broncos win one more game, then with the strength of schedule, Denver's pick would actually fall below Atlanta's. So, yeah, actually, we are hoping the Falcons find one more win this year, and it may as well happen here, I guess. I think we're still getting Tyler Huntley, by the way, so I'm not completely ruling anything out. We also have Commanders, Niners. We're big Niners fans here, guys. I know it's not going to be fun, but we have no real Seahawk-related reason to root against the Niners in the regular season at this point. We need the Commanders to get knocked down as far as possible so that we can catch them, even with our seemingly inevitable loss to Kansas City. We need the Commanders to lose, and unfortunately this week that means we need the 49ers to win. It is what it is. Eagles, Cowboys, I can't imagine this game matters for us. I'm trying to figure it out. Both these teams are going to make the playoffs. Even if the Cowboys lose out and the Seahawks win out, I don't know if we'd be ahead of them. So I don't see any way in which this game matters to the Seahawks. Neither team played the Broncos this year. Neither team played us. So I'm going to say that one's completely neutral. Root for whoever you want to root for. And then the night game is Raiders-Steelers, 2 6-win teams. I don't know what we should really do here. I guess in the unlikely scenario Denver gets to 6 wins, you'd rather have the Raiders have one more win because their strength of schedule is much weaker than the Raiders. I'm sorry, the Steelers. So I guess we want the Raiders to win, but again, it's just kind of thin. I don't have a lot to work with here, just that tiny little thread of that very unlikely scenario. Realistically, both these teams have already done their job by getting to 6 wins this year. That should be good enough. But I guess if we have to pick somebody, we should root for the Raiders because of that. Of course, the flip side is that the Raiders played the Broncos twice, so strength of schedule-wise, we actually want them to lose. So again, that's why I say it's very thin. I still say we should probably want the Raiders to win, but it's just super unlikely that it moves the needle in any real significant, meaningful way. Okay, now we get to Sunday. We've got the Packers and the Dolphins. Well, I think we want the Dolphins to win. I don't think the Packers are going to get involved in the playoff chase here at the end, but if you want to be real, they're only a little bit out. 6-8, if they win out, they may very well get in. They've got a real chance. May as well knock them off. And we could use Miami keeping pressure on a team like the Chargers to make sure they have to play hard in Week 18. Although at this rate, that may not even matter because a lot of the AFC wildcard teams fell on their face last week, like the Patriots against the Raiders. But while we're here, we may as well at least hope that they can keep the pressure on. So I think we're rooting for the Dolphins there, but it's thin. This, however, is not thin. The Broncos are playing the Rams, and this is a game that I may stream. I might stream this game. I might do a watch-along. because this game is going to decide a lot. If the Broncos win, it turns into a bit of a mess in the top 10. We're still going to get a top 10 pick, but where in the top 10 is that pick going to fall? Could be 6, could be 9, could be 8, could be 10, could be... It could go a bunch of different ways. If the Broncos lose this game, we're pretty well locked into a top 3 pick at that point. So this is the big one, guys. We got to ride that coaching advantage we have, the massive coaching advantage we have. We got to hope Aaron Donald plays. This is the one that really decides how juicy that pick is going to be. This is the difference between Jalen Carter and Myles Murphy. And that difference is significant. So yeah, big Rams fans, that is a huge game for our pick. If we get the desired result, I feel very good about us picking in the top 3. We also have a night game, Sunday night, Buccaneers-Cardinals. No reason for us to root against the Buccaneers at this point. Like, they're going to get in. They're going to win the division. It doesn't matter. We're not going to end up in any kind of wild card competition with them. There's just no way. So I'm looking at the Cardinals. They have their pick just a tiebreaker behind Denver's pick right now. So I kind of want Arizona to bank some wins. So, yeah. I think we want the Cardinals to win here. Get that pick below wherever Denver ends up picking. And then Monday night, we've got the Chargers and the Colts. We don't want the Chargers to lock up the playoffs too early. We want them to have something to play for in Week 18 against the Broncos. And we also know that the Colts pick is only half a game ahead of or behind Denver's pick. So, for a couple different reasons, we want the Colts to bank a win here. Let the Chargers sweat out their playoff spot. If they could lose their next 2 games and then have something to play for in Week 18, that would be ideal. And also, the Chargers play the Broncos twice, so the Chargers losing is bad for the Broncos' strength of schedule, which is good for us. All right, I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. And that's how I see things. Let me know what you guys think. Do you disagree with any of my decisions? See you guys later today on Twitch.